Yeah, it's main event time on ShoBox. Two super middleweights you've seen before are back. Andre Dirrell puts his perfect record on the line against Anthony Hanshaw, who fought to a draw in our ShoBox super middleweight tournament last year. Welcome back, everybody. Nick Charles, glad you could join us for another ShoBox. Pure unvarnished truth about this main event is that it's critical for different reasons for both fighters. Andre Dirrell's had a boatload of TV exposure throughout his unbeaten career, but his last television experience had boxing fans running for the remote. Last June, Dirrell took on fellow prospect Curtis Stevens in a highly anticipated matchup. What resulted instead was dreadful. Dirrell in white and green spent the night on the run, sometimes literally turning his back and bolting. The crowd booed almost the entire time, and while Dirrell won the fight on class, he lost the crowd. Afterwards, he rubbed the exposed PR nerve even more, saying he didn't care about the fans. Tonight, he promises a new Andre Dirrell and a crowd-pleasing performance. As for Tony Hanshaw, his last fight was a high-profile step up in class and weight against Roy Jones Jr. Hanshaw fought, though, without intimidation and with heart and intensity. He worked over Jones in the corners and along the ropes, but Jones's still lightning-quick hands forced Hanshaw to back off. Round after round, though, was competitive and close, but Jones sealed the win in the 11th round when he sent Hanshaw sprawling. Hanshaw got up, finished the fight, lost for the first time in his career, but distinguished himself in defeat. No, he really did. He lost to a legend. Nick Charles back with Steve Farhood as usual, ringside here in California. Steve, talk more about what's on the line for both guys in this main event.
A lot, Nick. Yeah, really, not all ShoBox main events have this clearer definition. Andre Dirrell, there are questions. Can he erase the stigma of his win against Curtis Stevens? Can his grandfather, Leon Lawson, take him to the next level, to the championship level? But ultimately, does he want to be known as an Olympic bronze medalist his whole career, or does he want to be known as a fighter who can realize his tremendous physical potential and win a world title? That's what he's going to answer tonight. Hanshaw, you said before stops and starts to his career, two-year layoffs in his career. Tonight, with Ronnie Shields in his corner, third different trainer in 3 fights. He's 30. He's in his prime. Does he want to be a contender who can fight for a title, or does he want to be a high-level trial horse? That's what this is about for Hanshaw.
Good sign for him. He's really angry about, having to fight a hotshot young kid and sort of being the guy in the blue corner, threatening to be just an opponent. But again, Hanshaw is a dangerous proposition. We've seen how well he could do. How does Dirrell, though, use his speed and mobility without running again like he did in that horrible performance?
Well, in the X's and O's, in terms of X's and O's, I would say he needs to come forward with his jab, throw combinations, more punches, instead of moving backward, move laterally. But ultimately, really what it comes down to for Andre Dirrell is intent. Is he going to stand there and get some respect and fight like a pro, or is he going to fight like an amateur?
Well, Andre Dirrell, tremendous. You mentioned amateur credentials. He's a former amateur star, 2004 Olympic bronze medalist in Athens, 3-year pro, natural lefty. He's been on TV 6 of his 14 fights. He says that run-and-gun performance against Stevens was a one-time mistake, that he was clearly disappointed and understands how fans would feel. Dirrell's had 2 off-TV wins since, acknowledges Hanshaw's without a doubt his toughest challenge. He's ready to win and look good doing it. 24-year-old Andre Dirrell, now 14-0, 9 knockouts. Take us behind the numbers, Steve.
Stepping up, Nick, with the exception of Stevens, who was 17-1. Dirrell hasn't fought anybody capable of testing him. His 2 most recent opponents were 9-15-1 and 23-38-8. Leisurely schedule. Dirrell turned pro almost 3.5 years ago. He's had only 14 fights. That's too slow a pace, especially for an Olympic bronze medalist. And punching technique. Dirrell's power is in his speed and his natural leverage. But until he's willing to step in with his punches, I would not call him a big hitter.
And we see Dirrell. Tell you about Tony Hanshaw, former U.S. National Golden Glove champion, 7-year pro. Very active early in his career, then those long layoffs. He attributes some of that to not being able to get over the accidental death of his father. It was 8 years ago. Hanshaw seems to lack maturity and commitment throughout his pro career. He did come back for our ShoBox Super Middleweight Tournament, went to the finals, getting a draw. Some said should have gotten a victory against Jean-Paul Mendy early last year. Before that loss to Roy Jones, which was his last fight almost 10 months ago. Tony Hanshaw is now 21-1-1, 14 KOs, and at age 30, as we've said, Steve, can't afford another loss. Not tonight, certainly. What's behind his numbers, Steve?
Tony Hanshaw's left wanting. Until he went 12 with Mendy in the Showbox final, Hanshaw had fought only one round against the southpaw. That Mendy experience should help him big time tonight. Keeping up with Jones, Hanshaw fought reasonably well against Jones last time out, and that was at light heavyweight. As a result, his confidence is very high right now. And power and pressure. Hanshaw has stopped only one of his 5 most recent opponents. He doesn't necessarily have to knock Dirrell out, but he needs to apply constant pressure.
Andre Dirrell risks his perfect record against Tony Hanshaw. Super middleweight showdown of enormous importance for both. Back to ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the Chumash Casino Resort here in Santa Ynez, California, for the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Gary Shaw Productions and Showtime. At this time, we introduce to you our judges scoring this bout from ringside: Marty Denkin, Dr. James Jenkin, and Jack Reese. Introducing our third man to the ring, our referee in charge of this bout, Pat Russell. All right, fans, here we go with our main event of the evening. 10 rounds of boxing in a super middleweight special attraction. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Santa Ynez, California, it's showtime! Introducing to you first on my right, he is fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red trunks with black and white trim. He weighed in at 169 pounds. With a fine record of 21 wins, only 1 defeat and 1 draw. He has 14 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the Showbox Super Middleweight Tournament finalist from Massillon, Ohio, introducing Anthony the Tiger Hanshaw. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks with green trim. He weighed in at 168 1/4 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign in the ring with a record of 14 wins, no losses, 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2004 Olympic bronze medalist from Flint, Michigan, introducing Andre the Matrix Dirrell. Once again, a referee in charge, Pat Russell, now to give instructions. 10 rounds of action scheduled.
Let's go, Andre. Anthony. All right, there's the line right there. There's the line right there. It's 10 rounds. Touch them up. Good luck. Come out at the belt.
Dirrell with a 5-inch reach advantage. You know, he switches from lefty to righty. I'll be very curious to see which side is more effective.
Mouthpiece, Anthony. Mouthpiece, Andre.
Here in California, no 3 knockdown, no standing 8. You can be saved by the bell in the last round only here in California. Referee or doctor can stop the fight. Referee, familiar face to us, Steve, Pat Russell. What a job he did in Vasquez Marquez 3. Man, I just couldn't believe it, sitting in the 3rd row for that fight March 1st here on Showtime. Oh, here they go, and Hanshaw already has Dirrell down.
No knockdown. Come here. Come here. No knockdown.
No knockdown. Wow. Boy, it looked like Hanshaw just slanged all over Dirrell. Dirrell's not going to be able to run here. Hanshaw said, I love this small ring. Dirrell said, hey, I know Tony's coming, but he's too slow-footed and his hands aren't fast enough. Man, Hanshaw defied all of that in the first 5 seconds.
And as great a job as we said Pat Russell did with Marquez Vasquez, I think that was a knockdown.
I did too.
His knee touched the ground.
It happened right in front of us, so Dirrell is under siege here, and his face shows it, Steve.
All right, free up those hands. Free them up. Stop.
Steve, you hit on a very good point. Leon Lawson, the grandfather of Andre Dirrell. I want to see what he tells his grandson after the first round.
That's a very shaky start. Andre Dirrell needed to ease into this fight. Credit Hanshaw for being smart enough to know that if he mugged Dirrell from the start, that would take Dirrell out of whatever game plan he had.
It's got Dirrell fighting orthodox. You know, Tony said when he switches on me, I'm going to catch him with the right hand on that switch.
Don't punch. Right.
Dirrell loves to fight southpaw mostly. He's a natural southpaw, but now he's going right-handed. And Hanshaw looks too strong for him right here. Got him in the corner.
Whoa, let him out. Let him out. Watch your heads. Watch your heads, fellas, inside.
Steve, they're not going to Hanshaw him. He didn't have threatening power. He doesn't have damaging power. He's got Dirrell trying to create some space that doesn't seem to be there. So he is trying to violate Hanshaw or Dirrell's space and let him fight at the pace he wants, which is a suffocating one. Here comes Dirrell's hand speed.
Yeah, it seems to me the only thing Dirrell can do right now is somehow land a shot to get some respect. Hanshaw, good chin. Only time he's been down was against Roy Jones.
And that's the way he went out against Jones. Just absolutely unintimidated. He just went after him, back Jones in a corner. But Jones, so much more experienced than Dirrell, was able to pick his shots and then let his hands go. A totally different fight here, but one that both men need. There's Dirrell sticking the jab to the body. Dirrell watching. He sees really well. Look at his eyes. He's trying to read off of Hanshaw. Hanshaw walks in, not behind the jab, trying to unload that right hand.
All right, hang on. Stop punching. Don't punch. Stop.
You know, Hanshaw's a lot of left hook, right hand. Left hook, right hand, Steve.
And Hanshaw is a very good left hooker.
There goes Dirrell. Boy, I thought he was getting unnerved there earlier, but he's dialing his way into the fight, boxing a little bit. Big overhand right from Anthony Hanshaw before the bell. That's a slip.
No. You okay?
Definite slip. We don't see any water in the corner. Let's listen in. Andre Dirrell and his grandfather trainer.
Andre, you got to pop them jabs. Yes, pop them jabs. Let your crosses go. Water. Give me water. Let your crosses go. Take a deep breath.
Popping jabs.
Keep them jabs.
Round one was 10 seconds old when Dirrell got trapped in the corner. Hanshaw, big left hook, another left hook, and a right hand. That's a knockdown. Yep. Now, he did push down on Dirrell's shoulder and neck, but I believe that Dirrell was already down. Take another look from the high angle. Watch the right hand.
Dirrell bounces off the ropes and goes down. It's clear to me, Steve.
Yeah, it's a knockdown despite the fact that Hanshaw was pushing down and helped Dirrell down a little bit there.
Well, big for Hanshaw. It was at least a 10-9 round, a 10-8 round unofficially, but officially it's going to go as a 10-9 for Tony Hanshaw. Now we see Dirrell coming out southpaw. I want him to get on that jab, get on the jab. I think it's a great idea to go southpaw against Hanshaw. Hanshaw has not been jabbing much anyway, so maybe it won't be a big factor. Oh, just moving back, and Pat Russell says, no knockdown again.
I agree with no knockdown, but it was interesting what Hanshaw did, getting in Dirrell's face there. A little psychological battle going on.
Boy, he's violating his space. No doubt. Violating his space, and it really is unnerving Andre Dirrell. He doesn't have any room to operate. We saw him run and hide a lot against Curtis Stevens. Now there's nowhere to run, and he's been forced to slug. He's got to stand and trade a little better, use this ring. He's not able to control the pace of this fight because Hanshaw's really pressing the action beautifully. Walking, try to close off the ring. Now Hanshaw comes up punching. Dirrell's fast hands coming to play, though.
Watch your heads. Step back.
It's a good fight.
And in watching Dirrell try to hurt Hanshaw with some power shots, you say, is Dirrell a puncher? Well, that's a hard question to answer because with the exception of Curtis Stevens, whom he ran against, he really hasn't fought anybody where you can say, hey, he's obviously a puncher.
He let his hands go there. That really did. Nice counter.
You don't need me. Free him up.
He knows how to sit down on his shots. He turns his shots over. Whether he has natural
let his head out.
Power, one punch power, that's another question, but he sure has hand speed. This is an 18-foot ring, and boy, it looks like about 10 feet now. Dirrell, doesn't it? Andre Dirrell in the corner again, a place he doesn't want to be. There, Hanshaw trying to trap him, trying to line him up. chasing them around. Dirrell trying to back up, create a little space, and unload that counter right hand. There's that triple jab. Beautiful as Dirrell probes to the body. He does that very well with that left jab. Now it's Hanshaw walking, following a little. He's short with one of those occasional jabs, but Dirrell switching up nicely. Now he is left-handed, right-handed, orthodox. He's very effective from both sides, Steve. Is an excellent boxer.
Well, I might question Dirrell's punching power, but I'll never question his hand speed. He has exceptional hand speed. When he jabs, though, a lot of times now, he's jabbing, and you saw it just there. He's jabbing and jumping back. I talked at the break in between fights about his catch.
Straight left hand from Dirrell, who now goes orthodox. And, you know, Hanshaw's got to catch him on those switches with the right hand.
Free up those hands. Let him go. Stop. Break. Take a step back.
Much closer around, Nick.
Yeah. Dirrell flashing real boxing ability. Hanshaw back to his corner first.
Stand up, man. Listen to me. Now look, you lost that round. And you know why you lost that round? You know why you lost that round? Because you had too much distance between you. You let him get on the outside with a couple bullshit punches. You understand? You cannot get out there and do close rounds like that. You understand? You got to get on. When that bell rings, you jump right on in there. Okay? You jump right on top of this man. Okay? Do not give him no room to do anything. As soon as you give him
Good speech by Ronnie Shields. Nick talked about Hanshaw violating Dirrell's space. That's what he means. Now, that was not a knockdown, but look at what Hanshaw does.
When you get close, go to the body. Now, look, you aiming at the head with the hook. Start aiming right here to the shoulder. Aim to the shoulder.
Mouthpiece.
Hanshaw never sat down.
Mouthpiece. Round 3.
Steve, talk more about Dirrell now. Or let's talk about Hanshaw first. Anything? He probably lost that round. So, what do you think? Do you agree with Shields? And what else should he be doing?
Well, I agree with Ronnie Shields. He needs to stay. You see, Hanshaw's capable of applying 10 rounds of hard pressure. He did it with Mendy and Spot. He did it with Jones. In those fights, he's favored in 11 and 12, but there's no 11 and 12 in these fights. He has to be consistent, stay focused, and apply pressure. And really, his time in this fight, Nick, should be the second half of the fight, not the first half.
Well, he's really trying to walk down Dirrell, but man, Dirrell's hand speed again. Very evident, Steve. But you can see Dirrell losing his composure. 14 pro fights, a little bit. You know, when he gets under siege that way. But I still don't know about Hanshaw's power.
Put it out.
Professional experience. Look at the numbers of rounds. Andre Dirrell has not a lot of action since turning pro after winning that Olympic bronze medal.
And he really wants a lot more. He wants a lot more action. He really thought he hasn't fought enough.
Nick, he's never signed with a promoter. He's never had a contract with a promoter. Sometimes that can hurt against fighters.
Good point. Now they slug it out, and Hanshaw cut off balance. Now on the switch is Dirrell, and he got full extension on that left hand, and he's got Hanshaw in bad shape here. He's wrestling him and mugging him all over the ring. It's hard to know, and he's muscling him against the ropes again, and Hanshaw holds on. Didn't look like Hanshaw got hit with more than one solid shot, but he became unglued a little bit, Steve.
He did. His balance went. I think he was legitimately hurt, Nick. And Dirrell, a tiger in there, pushing Hanshaw off so he can get his punches off.
Looked like that left hand from Dirrell. We hope to see it again. Meantime, a lot of time left in this third round. It's been a beauty here in our main event. Andre Dirrell in the black and green is undefeated. He's the natural southpaw. Nice left hand. It's been his best punch. Well, when he triples up that jab, it's not bad either. But that straight left hand from Dirrell is found a home as Hanshaw comes in without throwing. Hanshaw trying to line up, just touching with the jab, trying to unload that right hand. And Dirrell waiting to counter that right.
Two of Hanshaw's last 5 fights against lefties.
Steve, it's like Dirrell's taking a little breather. The crowd doesn't want to see that.
No, Dirrell should not do that. He's making Hanshaw miss, so he's smiling at him. Don't lose the crowd. Bad move. Harder now, Nick.
Yeah, he opened up. He really took about 45 seconds off there. Boy, Hanshaw, bad round for him. As he's fallen behind in this fight through 3.
Okay, now listen to me. Sit down. Listen. You gotta use the jab. Jab the man in the chest. You're head hunting too much with him. Okay, don't head hunt with the man. Look, add your feints, use your feints. Once you fade him and he commit himself, then you gotta go in. But you gotta jab.
Action from round 3. Dirrell can fight righty or lefty. He's lefty here, and he's effective. And look at him pushing Hanshaw off. Hanshaw, experienced guy, trying to hold on. Dirrell won't let him. Big power display, a little sloppy, a little over-aggressive, but that's okay. He thought he had a chance to score a knockdown, if not a knockout there. And now later in the round, look at that straight left hand. Hanshaw never saw it coming. That was a big shot. Dirrell, the confidence he lost.
You understand?
With that,
you
in that
go
first
to the
10
body
seconds
on
of round 1, Nick, he's gotten it back 5 times.
Got to go to the body on him.
Just love his hand speed. You know, I disagree. I don't think Tony Hanshaw is capable of really being elusive. I like that Shields is telling him to move it. I don't think you're going to feint Dirrell into a mistake. But what you are going to do, that Hanshaw, that I agree with Shields, he's got to go to that body now. He's got to take the legs away from Dirrell a little bit. He's got to slow him up. He's just got to seize the initiative back.
And why is Dirrell boxing orthodox?
He's so effective lining up that left hand off the jab. But he had a great jab here. He was tripling that jab from the orthodox position. But it's always harder to fight a southpaw, you would think, so why not make it miserable for Tony Hanshaw? Or even more miserable. You agree, Steve? You have it 29-28?
Yes, for Dirrell. Gave him the second and third round. Line of blood coming out of Dirrell's nose.
Stop.
This is an excellent fight.
Well, very hard to figure because the way the first round went, you would have thought that Hanshaw would have steamrolled Dirrell, but not the case at all.
We have those hands.
In close will be very interesting. Nobody sees the big advantage when they get in tight. That was a clinch. Hanshaw not really walking, and he walks into a jab there. Blood coming from the left nostril of Andre Dirrell. Now Hanshaw working the body.
But look at those rope burns on Hanshaw's back.
It's been there from the beginning, Steve. Oh, nice left. That was a hybrid hook. Boy, I love the hand speed of Andre Dirrell. And he can crack, too. I'm not saying knockdown power by any means.
Stop. Let his head out. I got it. Let it out.
Technically rock solid. More solid than Tony Hanshaw. Not to disparage Hanshaw. He's a dangerous guy. Walked into a jab there. Now it's back southpaw as Dirrell whips a right hand and goes orthodox.
Dirrell obviously watched the Roy Jones fight because Hanshaw worked Jones most of that fight. But what Jones was effective doing was taking pot shots. He'd wait. Then he'd throw a lead power shot. Dirrell's sort of doing the same thing with a few more jabs mixed in.
See, to me, difference in this fight is the superior speed of Andre Dirrell. Certainly hand speed and definitely his foot speed, too. He's using the ring better. Hanshaw should be closing him off here, forcing him to fight. Now, not backing up. Well, let's see what happens here. Oh, Dirrell's right him in again. Oh, he walked into a right hand. So Hanshaw gets rocked again. Nice switching from Dirrell. He's been very effective. Hanshaw holding on.
Let him go. Stop. Let him go.
Dirrell looks like the stronger guy right now. And that's something that Hanshaw didn't believe, would never buy. And now Dirrell trying to brute force his way around. He's throwing Hanshaw all over. Hanshaw's bleeding from the nose as well. And now he's in retreat. Body shot from Dirrell.
I got it.
Not exactly an amateur style the way Dirrell puts Hanshaw around.
He's fighting mean, Steve. He's fighting mean. And he pushes Hanshaw down. He had him going with that left hand.
4, 5,
Can't be saved by the bell.
Hey, all right, you okay?
Pat Russell didn't think it was a knockdown at first, and then
it's a knockdown.
I didn't think it was knockdown either. He clearly pushed him down.
He had him going with the left hand, and then he finished the job by pushing him down. I agree.
Where's my feet? Here, let me get the water. Let me now. You got to move your head. Stop following the man around. You're standing up too tall. Stay down low, but move your head.
Composure.
Okay? You understand? You hit the guy. You got to stay.
Action from round 4. Watch Dirrell. Nice left hand. Now, clearly, Hanshaw's hurt. Let's see if there should be a knockdown.
There's the left.
I'm sorry, he pushed him down. He pushed him down. He had him hurt. Another look. He had him hurt. He clearly had him hurt with the left hand. But he's pushing hard. Now, Pat Russell saw that last left hand. Maybe he thought that would put Hanshaw down. 10-8 round. Remember, the judges have to score what the referee decides, not what they saw. So that is a 10-8 round for Dirrell.
Deep breath.
Steve, I got blood on my notes. That's a good sign.
It's not yours, as long as it's not yours.
As long as it's not on my shirt, right? Andre Dirrell is looking lean and mean in this one, and Tony Hanshaw's not letting his hands go at all.
And Nick, I tell you, Dirrell is doing exactly the Hanshaw what I would have guessed Hanshaw would have done to Dirrell. Not just the fighting him, but roughing him up, pushing him around.
Hanshaw just not throwing enough. Look. And he's so slow-footed compared to Dirrell. It's not a knock on Hanshaw, but he's not going to beat him to the punch in terms of speed. Now he's there. He's going to the body. Whip that right hand to the jaw. Left hook to the body. Hanshaw trying to get back in this fight. Crowd on it, loving this one.
And instead of yapping to the crowd, the rest will be trying to finish his man. Hanshaw was badly hurt there, Nick.
Hanshaw whips a left hook. Straight right hand. Hanshaw looks wobbly now. Big left there on the slip from Andre Dirrell. Oh, what abilities here. Hanshaw's in trouble. He's not holding on. He's getting beat up now. He's trying to hold on now. Pat Russell taking a look. Big left hand, and Russell stops it. Wow. Dynamic performance. Absolutely dynamic from that man, Andre Dirrell. Wipes out any doubt we had that this guy didn't have fire in him.
Wow.
Sit down.
Nick, we both talked about this fight beforehand, and we both liked Dirrell's chances, but in your wildest...
No, I liked him by decision.
Would you have thought he would have won this fight?
I liked him by decision. He showed me a lot. Here we go. Let's listen in. All right, Hanshaw, at least physically, is okay. But in terms of his career, this one was fatal for him. Too early to tell, not really. He joins the ranks of opponent here. He's lost his last two. It was no disgrace losing to a legend. But Hanshaw is going to have to reassess. Not this man. Andre Dirrell is a guy on the move. He looked terrific tonight. Hanshaw hurt here. This was the beginning of the end. Barrels in, trying to body shot Dirrell and slow him down. Instead, he walks into a rapid-fire combination, hot-dogging from Dirrell. He's really talking to his corner here. Not necessarily the fans, but watch. As he's getting muscled and pushed and hammered all over the ring is Hanshaw. Dirrell gets full extension on those shots. Bruising power. And it's combination power from him. He doesn't have single shot power. Andre Dirrell doesn't need it with that kind of hand speed. Pat Russell steps in to end it for Tony Hanshaw as Andre Dirrell, unquestionably the biggest win of his pro career. 15-0, 10 KOs now. He showed us everything here in California.
My daughter, my son.
Jimmy Lennon Jr. has the official announcement now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 1 minute 13 seconds in round number 5. Our referee in charge, Pat Russell, stops the contest. He is the winner by way of knockout and still undefeated, Andre the Matrix Dirrell.
Dirrell, a tremendous performance here in Santa Ynez. Yeah, there were doubts about him, certainly questioning his heart, questioning his ability. And earlier in this fight, you looked at him and you said, hey, this is a guy under siege in a very small ring. And it was Tony Hanshaw who was doing everything he needed to do, making it an inside fight. But then he was unable to slow down Dirrell at all. Body shots didn't work. He continued to run into shots And I'll tell you something, Andre Dirrell just had too much class for a very accomplished fighter, Tony Hanshaw. Hanshaw losing for the second straight time. The upside in terms of career potential clearly, though, now belongs to Andre Dirrell. Had to assess his performance. He didn't do a thing wrong. You know, you see so many switch hitters in this game who do it so ineffectively. I thought Andre Dirrell was so dangerous, had Hanshaw off guard, confused him the entire fight. Hanshaw never able to get into sync. So let's go to Steve Farhood with the winner now.
Andre, 10 seconds into this fight, you were over in that corner. You were pushed down. And it seemed to me like, looking at you, you didn't have confidence. But what happened in the second round and from that point on?
Well, I learned from my mistakes really quick. So I saw the type of fighter he was when he fought Roy Jones, when he fought John Paul Mendy. And I knew he was wide on the inside, punching wildly and not thinking to where his head is. So coming down to that fight, I realized in the inside he was wide. I've been working on my short punches, set him up for the hook. Each time I heard him, I believe it was the hook that started. If y'all watch the tape, and the left hands followed. And I was a little wild coming on. The first couple times I heard him, that's why he stopped me. But I gained control, and I took the fight.
When you did hurt him, which was several times from round 2 on, you seemed just as intent on showing everybody, your corner, the fans, that you would hurt him as you were to finish him.
Most definitely, man. I know I had to get in there, and if I started something, I had to finish it. And I'm a great finisher. I just got to work on certain tactics to make sure I'm up to par for world championship bouts. I'm going to get in the gym, look at this tape, see what I'm still doing wrong, and I'm going to grow through that and become a world champion soon.
Andre, this was clearly a huge jump up in class for you. We know what happened with Curtis Stevens. What enabled you psychologically, mentally, to keep it together when everybody was saying, I don't ever want to see Andre Dirrell again on TV? You moved up against Hanshaw. What kept it together for you?
Well, like I said, I told y'all earlier that I wasn't doing this for nobody but me and my fans. I already made my grandfather happy. My campers proud of me. And I just had to get out there for that one word, redemption. You know, I had to redeem myself from the loss I took to Curtis Stevens, so-called loss. I felt we both lost that fight, and they didn't see the real Andre Dirrell. They got to see the real Andre Dirrell tonight, and they will see more.
So where are you, Andre? I mean, before this fight, people wanted to run you out of boxing.
Yeah.
And now you hold a win much more impressive than what Roy Jones did against Hanshaw, who had only one loss. Where are you in your development? This seems like just such a quantum jump for you.
Well, just like I said, you know, when Al set up the fight with Curtis Stevens, I was training for the fight hard. I was in tip-top shape, but I didn't have the right sparring partners. And I had people my height when I fought Curtis. So what I did, in that fight, I fought amateur because that's the only way I knew how to fight a short guy that was good. So I had to take it back to the amateur roots. Good thing my downfall in that win was a win, and I got to carry on and make it as successful as I did today in this fight.
Andre Dirrell, that was quite an impressive victory. We'll see you again for sure, and I think this time everybody will be glad to see you fight.
Definitely.
Let's go back to Nick at ringside.
All right, Steve, he said he's going to look at the film. It should be short work, see what he did wrong. He didn't do anything wrong tonight. If he gets any better, he's going to be out and out. We're going to want to see him every week here on Showbox. Rocky Balboa returns to the ring in the film that bears his name. Catch the premiere coming in May right here on Showtime.